All right, good morning, everybody. It is November 6th, 2018, and it is election day. All right, and remember, news is just a catalyst here. So, what do we expect this morning? We're going to talk about some box trades and go ahead and start off. This one's going to be pretty quick, which is kind of nice. Give me some time to grab some extra coffee and just kind of relax getting into the day. Pretty much yesterday was a great day for a few shorts. Kept a Lulu long on. We'll see how that works out. What am I expecting today? Well, just to watch price. And basically, what I'm telling everybody for myself is for me, it's one of those days where A plus B equals me buying C. So, two things need to happen in order for me to take a trade today. When we look at the ES, so I'm not going to go into great detail what trendy edges mean or anything like that this morning. I know that our members know what it means. What we're facing here is you know, basically in most of these charts, I just want you to look here in my watch list, and you're going to notice that there's a lot of color on the screen here. This isn't usually that typical. All right. So what it's telling me in here under the W, under the weekly edge, we have a lot of red. So what it's showing is we have come up into the weekly trendy edge, okay, which is also correlated with some Fibonacci and some supply. Supply meaning there are sellers in this area. All right. Lots of it. Look at all this red. So when we approach these upper edges, we take caution and we scale out. For example, those in the room last night know that I took an ES position. We got in on the break of the list and we got out before reaching the upper edge. And a good thing we did. Okay. Today, in order for me to want to take a trade, I need to get above the weekly edge. Whether we're talking about Melly, whether we're talking about the triple M's, Monster, Microsoft, Netflix, Oracle. I see all kinds of stuff on here. RHT, SPY, SPX, right? They're correlated. But I mean, the list goes on and on. So in order for me to start feeling bullish in any of these names, they need to get above their weekly edge. And I'll show you some of that when we get into looking at this morning's box trades. But before we get there, just while I'm saying box trades, I want to make sure that everybody understands that for me today, the box trades are more of just a visual. I want to see what price is going to do there. We're just basically right at a juncture that is very important. All right. And the thing is when we are underneath the upper weekly edge, I am short-minded. Therefore, I'm looking for price to continue down into the midline edge. Well, guess what? With the volatility that we had last week, the mid edge, see this red line here? The mid edge is kind of hard to see on here. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay, this mid edge here is very, very far away. All right. And actually, I apologize. It's right where my white line is. I did that. So here we are with our lower edge, upper edge, mid edge. Okay. It's pretty darn far away. I mean, it's at 2684. 2684. All right. So yeah, I mean, for me, price can fluctuate in here. I don't know if I'm going to be expecting a volatile day. If futures are just kind of manipulation right now, kind of nice and easy. We're only down 5 points. We're used to seeing like 30, 40, 50 different points to the upside or downside. I'm looking for price to get above our upper edges. As long as we are under the upper edge, I am short-minded. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Today, the line in the sand, I'm going to take this off right here. I didn't change the date on this. This is the most accurate, up-to-date line in the sand. Posted this last night, not only on Twitter, but here in the room. Price needs to build value above 27.41. 27.41 increments of quarters on the ES. Okay, so you could just round up and say 2741.25. All right, needs to build value above there. and not bullish until we can get above T1 here at 27.51. Value above there gets us into 2774, and then overall 2816. Remember the big picture, and we are on a day candle here. On the big picture, we are staying in a down range, and we have not broken this trend until price starts to curl around and take out the 618, which is also above some supply, okay? Price being around 2816, cannot get bullish until there. Intraday bullish is different than me saying bullish. Bullish for me has to get above this number here, 2816, knowing the overall picture is down until this is taken out. To the downside, if this does not work today and we continue down, what am I looking for? Okay, right now looking for 2716, a break of 2716 gets me 2692 to 2676. These targets we have here on the downside are a little bit more on the weekly. Today is only Tuesday. I'm giving you some short-term targets right now. And again, you're looking at somewhere around 2716 is what I would be concerned about for right now. Now, the cool thing is if we look at the most recent rally, okay, brought this up in the room, our most recent rally, we have some methodology in here, and we look at the midlines and so forth. If we measure this, we can see that if price were to pull back into my midline, the midline actually on the most recent rally is right at the 618 or the golden Fibonacci. This is a perfect setup to scare retail investors, okay? Meaning if price starts dropping, we start hearing how all this rally has just been BS, that we're going back to the February lows, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, price picks up around the T1 at the 618, and then we do this. This would be perfect after the elections, okay? Now let's get into our box trades, okay? So just one more time to make it clear. I need price above 27.4108 to build value. Not getting bullish on the intraday unless we can get above the weekly trendy upper edge here at about 27.47. Needs to be build value there. Okay, yesterday the line in the sand was instrumental in the entire day's setup. We made money in the first 30 minutes. We were done, made a few trades after that, but everything was based around the line in the sand. Okay, so again, can't do anything above there. To the downside, if it stays short, I'm looking for our edge trades into our midline. Overall, could see 26.84. I hope we get a little bit of volatility today. All right, let's go over here to the mid edges, or not the mid edges, the box trades. I'm going to pull this down. Okay, it's important today. These are the trades that I'm focusing on, and we'll go ahead and start from the left to right. We're looking at Facebook. I have an upper box and I have a lower box. The upper box is correlated with some supply, some Fibonacci, etc. Down here, though, remember I need A plus B to equal C today, and I'm not going to jump on a lot of trades here. You're going to see a lot of lines on this chart because, for one, I'm outlining the box to show price. All right, that way, it makes sense. Hey, he wants to get in around 146.68, stop at 144.23. You could do the math, check your risk, reward up to 152, stop at 154. This is where a lot of people get confused, right? So these are targets. These targets from the bottom and the top, the targets are built with supply. Price will turn around here. Price at the bottom here will typically bounce. Not all the time, but most of the time. Okay. So we have our midline edge here, and this is what I'm talking about. If we go over to equities, some of these stocks, now Facebook is the only one out of a bunch of these guys that is not at its upper weekly edge yet. We have noticed that most of these stocks that have went up into their weekly edge have already pulled back a tad this morning. For Facebook, the line in the sand would be this midline edge, which is about 148.11. it needs to stay above 148.11. Okay, if it could stay above, then I'm looking for targets to the upside here at 152.47 and 154. If it breaks, I would expect Facebook to maybe mess around in here and then build some value, and then up we go. And as it goes up, okay, as it breaks here, comes into the box, we're looking to notice if I take this trade, I need to watch and see if it can break this. If it breaks this and builds value for a little bit, then we look for the cash close to be taken out, and then over the next several days, looking for 152 to 154. Okay, I just want to show you that. Amazon, looking for more downside, but then again, I'm also here to judge by watching price. Okay, up here we have resistance, 1623 by 1647. As you can see, because Amazon can be volatile, the stops and risk are, there's some big spreads in here. And sometimes for me, I rather trade shares, short shares, or go long shares for the intraday on Amazon, just because of the premiums that are built around the prices. And quite frankly, this is not 2 years ago where I could buy out of the money down here because of the volatility. Your prices on options are going to increase because market makers and or people selling you these options understand that price can actually get there. 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. You could buy out of the money on Amazon for 5, 20 cents, and then all of a sudden, you're getting $8 for it. Those days are over. Okay. But I'm looking at to see, can Amazon get above this box? For right now, it's a short box for me. This is where I would look to get short. Looking for T1 down here around 1586, T2 at 1542, T3 at 1501. Okay. But if price can build in here, I'm not necessarily going to go short. This is more of a caution kind of watch box for me right now, if it gets in here. Okay. CAT, I like this one. This one's a little bit easier. All the risk to reward is not huge. I have an entry area here between 125.71 by 124.83. Very small risk here, and then upwards targets around 127.45 to 128.89. As you can see, if I could get the pullback into 125.71, about $2 to $3 to the upside, so forth. However, if you notice, there's a blue line in between here. If it holds this, the closer we get to the upper box, the more I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting ready to go short here. Okay, the further down into the box, I'm looking to get long. Right now, basically, I'm at a neutral juncture, so not interested in being aggressive or speculating. Okay, so very important. Down here at Google, I have, this one's very important as well. Can it stay a bit above? This is basically your line in the sand for today, 1058.31. You can round it up if you like, 1059, 1057, whatever you feel like doing. For me, 1058.31. If we could build value above here, could quickly get about a 10-point scalp into some supply and Fibonacci, and possibly build value 1079. Okay, so could get a nice 20-point run here. If price does not get above my line in the sand, I'm thinking short. I'm watching the color of my candles. I'm watching some other indicators, and I'm looking to short down into 1031 again, or 88.7 of 1031. Been doing this a while. That put me about 1040, giving me about $18 to the downside. Okay. This, just to point out, price is being supported by the monthly lower edge. The monthly lower edges are pretty strong. I do know overall, if we break 1031, I think I'm looking for 948 or something like that. There we go, way down here. Sounds crazy, right? But after everything kind of goes away, the elections, earnings season, and so forth, it'd be nice to get some of these prices on some of these stocks into fair value. And for me, fair value on Google is about 948. NC pre-market candles are starting to turn red. I like this one to the downside, but also looking to potentially take a trade between 47.06 to 46.21 for intraday trade, targeting back up to the upside at 48.06, 48.81. If price gets over our midline here at 48.05. I'm looking to go short between 48.81 and 49.80. Simply a dollar risk here, and then here to the downside, actually less than a dollar risk. Okay. Over here to the right, Netflix. I love Netflix. You know, we've hit these targets over and over every single day. This one, can it stay above? So this color is a little bit different. This is my line in the sand here at 317.79. Put this out on Sunday night, and look how well the line in the sand works. Up to the line in the sand, pulls back. That's what's supposed to happen. If we can build value above the line in the sand, 1317.79, then I'm looking for, there's a pivot here in black, 322. Then we're looking for 325. This white line is special. Let me tell you, it's special. I drew it, right? It's part of, look at that. I drew this a month ago. It's part of our triangle up here, okay? Bigger picture, let's go ahead. I'll show you again. Let's look at some of these names. Okay, bigger picture here. I like this chart. I think that Netflix wants to get back up in here. Okay, I really do. I think Netflix can get back up there. All right, but I'm not here to speculate. I need A plus B before C happens. And in this case, this is what we're looking at so that you can understand more of what I see. If we can break this white line, then we get back in here. If we can break the red line, whew, we're looking for a nice breakout. Okay, but that's not until we get there. I'm not speculating we get there today or tomorrow. In order for me to start feeling that way, I need Netflix to get above 317.79 first and then build value. Depending on your time frame. I used to set a clock here in the room, right? This is a long time ago, and we'd set like an alarm for intraday trading. I'd bring up the alarm, the stopwatch, and say, okay, we need price to stay above for 20 minutes. And literally, I can't do anything. Even if the candle's going up, you know, it's getting you excited, dopamine's going off, it's firing on all cylinders, you want to take a trade, and then it's like, I'll hold off, right? Now, if I'm looking at a daily, I want to see the day candle close above this, okay? If I'm just looking for an intraday scalp, then, you know, maybe I wait 15, 20 minutes and then I'll take the trade to the upside. Something simple like that. All right, so that's what I'm looking at there. And yeah, and so price targets are derived from supply and demand and Fibonacci. Okay. So that pretty much, I'm not going to, again, if you just jumped in here, again, today is for me a great day just to learn. I'll probably be educating throughout the day on some of my methodology. Remember, you know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not claiming to make $1 million here. What I claim is that the methodology that I use helps the probability of the trade. Okay. And so, you know, I like probabilities and I don't want to go in blind. I love using analysis. I think that technical analysis is where trading first started years and years ago, and try to avoid all noise. Also, that includes news and anything like that, okay? So once again, lots of stuff on my board is red. This means for me taking caution to these upper edges, and we'll be watching ES closely here to kind of get a gauge on the market. And again, if I can get above this upper edge, 27.48 or so, looking for moves up into 27.74. But if we cannot get up there and some volatility creeps in, basically these white lines, okay, these two white lines could be for a very nice volatile day. I'm not like banking on this, that price will come all the way down here. But for now, this is my, you know, 26.84 to 27.41, or actually 26.84 up into the upper weekly edge here at 27.47. Could be a very nice range. All right. So anyways, thanks for joining us this morning. We went over the box trades. Again, I will leave this open on YouTube for a few minutes. If anyone's in here just checking us out, that's not part of the room, this will be the last day that I'm doing this. Members do not, YouTube is more for, there's a disclaimer on there. There's 11-second delay, I believe, is what we counted quite some time ago. So although it says streaming, it's not like this live streaming. We actually do WebEx webinar from Cisco in the room, and that's very live. So, and a lot more clearer picture as well. So, so I was looking at RH today. I'll go ahead and just kind of the trade that I took yesterday, I took RH like towards the end of the day. And on RH, this thing turned into a nice little, small little hammer here. Things were looking pretty good. Again, broke out from the DTL. You got to be impressed. We had a blueprint on this that we sent out on Sunday night as well. And price is above the upper edge. So, RH is one of those, again, if it can keep the upper edge for a day or two, looking for a move up here into 129 and 132. From my experience trading RH, it's a doozy. It's thinly traded. It moves. I mean, even if you buy shares, it's like buying an option. I mean, this thing just moves all over the place. And it's better for me if I'm going to go into an option with this one. I don't like to preach this, assume everything goes to zero. That only applies to some stocks for me, and depending on how much money I'm going to throw into the trade. In this case, RH is one of those that kind of fall into that category for me. Allowing it to go to zero is probably the better uh, for for this name because man, the volatility on it. I mean, you could see yesterday this thing just kind of foop, got me out of a position, and then by the end of the day, the position was up. And it's just like man, a big slap in the face. So I definitely mess up just like anybody else. All right, so we looked at our box trades. We'll be pulling these up on the screen this morning. Just kind of watching these. Again, these are if you change, you're looking here. It's you look at this and you have to think to yourself, huh? His charts look a little bit different. So we have color coded red, yellow to green, red, yellow to green. The only chart right now that's not in that study is this upper Facebook chart here. But again, so real quickly, I'm going to go over these for anyone coming in new. These are the names that I'm looking at. Facebook needs to stay above 148, the midline here. If it can hold value, looking for a move to the upside here before weeks in at 152, 154. If it breaks the midline here, looking for an entry between 146 and 144. Amazon, short biased right now, but just only waiting on price to show us what it's going to do. We have some supply up ahead here between 1623 and 1647. If I get some, this is an important thing. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this just for quick reference. Even though I may short here at 1623, just using yesterday's range is a good measurement for Amazon because it's so volatile. If you get into a very expensive option, it's easy to get shaken out really quick because you can see the decay on that. You can see the delta is going to rise so quickly or drop. The theta is going to drop so quickly that most traders get out or they get scared entirely way too quick. So on something like this, I just measure from my pivot high to pivot low. If price starts dropping, I use the methodology of Fibonacci. If the golden Fib can't hold at the 618, then I'm looking for price to come into 88.7. All right, so on a shorter term, if I go short here, first thing I'm looking for is does it break 618? I can scale from 16, whatever that line is up here, 1623. I could go short and scale at 1610, 1612. If it breaks there, I can scale again here at 1604. If that breaks, right? And so basically, depending on the number of contracts, gives me the overall what I need to know by just using some fibs and so forth. Okay. CAT needs to stay above the midline here at 126.44, looking for 127.45 by 128. Again, same thing here, upper trend line 128.89. If it gets above there, can break out. If we break below the midline, looking to get long at 125.71 by 124.83. Lower left on Google, if it can stay above 1058, looking for a scalp into 1068 by 1079. If it cannot break above, looking for a move down into possibly here at the monthly edge, 1031, 88.7 of that, maybe around 1035. NC, nice move. See if we could stay below the midline here of about 48.10. If it stays below, looking for a short into 47.06 by 46.21. Potential bounce here at 46.50. If we get above, looking for a move or a scalp into 48.81 by 49.80. Netflix, same thing here. This one's been great to us. If you're able to get above, basically in the zone or the line in the sand of between 315, 316, 317, 79. Looking for a quick move into 325.27 by 329.45. As long as I'm staying below here, looking for a move into 309.11. If that breaks, and paying attention to our pivot low here, you'd expect bounce, probably a double bottom, as some traders would say, around 303, and if that breaks, 297. Okay, 297 by 292 I really like. Not sure we're going to get it again. So again, the short for me would be probably short-lived, meaning probably just targeting 309. All right, guys, thanks for joining me this morning. I'm going to go ahead and lead this on. It's going to be quiet for the next several minutes until we get started here, which is in about 19 minutes or so before we get there. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and then I'll jump back on here in a few minutes. All right, guys. So I'm back. We got about 5 minutes or so before we get started here, and just gonna kind of go through chat room here, see how everybody's doing. Yeah, it has been a while. Thanks, man, for posting. I think BKNG had a nice beat as well, but you know, overall market cap then traded. I mean, at the end of the day, unless you're trading it, who really cares? We'll take a look at it. This was our zones going into yesterday for a beat. All right, just so you can see the bigger picture here. Beat was looking for 1986 by 2045 up to 2132. Let's go over to 15 minutes, and you can see here right into there. So nice. Big thing for BKNG to continue up. Take these boxes and see if they hold it as support. What was resistance turns into support. And if I take this away, you can see here we have the monthly trendy edge. Basically is where it's sitting at underneath here. I'll look for a price to on this chaotic candle to pull back anywhere from 38% to 50%, and then maybe for a scalp entry to the upside. But just not interested in it. Matter of fact, the best way for me to approach BKNG is just to call credit spreads and put credit spreads. You see that last night, our ES trade, we got out right in time. I think we sold right around here. But once we broke out again, almost got to the target, you know. But I wasn't willing to sit on the trade underneath for quite so much time. You know, trading futures and trying to sleep at the same time, I would have to say is very hard to do. Very hard to do. And to be quite frank, um, if I took that trade, my stop would have been not all the way down here. So. All right, so what we're looking here on short term is, you know, the ES, SPY, SPX, whatever it is. Looking for to see if price is even going to get up here. I would look for it to retest the LIS here, but we do have some supply coming in around 2744. Again, you know, this is pretty easy too. We did this yesterday. If you waited all the way, we put some lines around our channel here, and you just had to wait for hours. I mean, hours and hours, and then when it broke out, it really broke out. So basically, just setting up alerts if you want. But looking for, if you want to look at it on here, I could just show you really quick. It's very simple. We're just going to go with the high here. The hell? Okay, and then looking for the expected range. It's about right here. And you could color these up if you like, you know, whatever color you want. Make them a little bit thicker. Just giving you an example here. You know, and it's just one of those things, just sit and wait, you know. And if this was your expected range, I'm just waiting for price to either break above and base above here to take the breakout trade, or you know, the breakdown trade, one of the two. And basically this all being this entire area just being kind of neutral unless you're a scalp trader. And if you're not a scalp trader, then you're buying options while the overall market is just trading in a range, and you just get beaten up with everything else. So let's go over here real quick. We'll take a look at the box trades once again. So what am I looking at here? Pretty easy. Is Facebook going to be supported by the cash close? It's bouncing off just a tad. But remember, the bigger picture, I'm looking for it just to hold above 147.78. If it can do that, and then looking for moves up here into 152. Intel, like to see it come down into the box here for trade up. Google, the midline here, or the line in the sand is at 1058. I want to see if it can actually break this and hold value above here. Okay. Okay, you can see Amazon came into the box. Again, as I said before, just watching right now. Netflix, line in the sand, need to get above 317.79 and hold value above there, okay? These are on 5-minute candles for right now. Yeah, I don't know. Jared, on Amazon, this one I'm just going to watch, man, for right now. And just see what we get here. Yeah, a little bit of volatility. You can see there ES right up into the LIS at 27.41. So CAT was supported by our midline here. Yeah, short covering or buying. Some people are very confident if they continue to buy here. I like Facebook that it's bouncing off the cash close so far. Able to hold this. Could be a scalp up here into 152. Let me try a scalp here in Facebook. Looking at 152.5 for this week. Amazon trying to go yellow. Nice so far. CAT up into the pivot there. Again, A plus B is working so far. Netflix holding the line in the sand, looking for 325 up here. And keep it really light today. So I took the Facebook trade again at the box or support of the line here, looking for 152.47. Okay, and then short term, what we want to look at here is that, 88.7 sometimes from our overnight high into our pivot low. Right here, you can see it's right at 88.7. So what you want to see here is if price can actually build above 88.7. If so, that's a good thing. Remember, value above the upper edge is really what we're looking for this morning. Okay, nice moves here. And I'm going to scale Facebook here around 45% or so. This is Amazon that we're looking at. I just want to see how it's going to react in this zone here. Yeah, you got that OLED puts the other day, right? Good job. And that was off a box trade, right, Omer? Nice, man. You're like my shining scholar student right there, man. Believing in the box trades over and over. And I keep seeing all your wins. It's amazing. All right, so here we go. Check this out. So ES right up into the weekly edge. It's a little bit of caution for me right here, but if we can take it out, that'd be amazing. But because of that, I'm going to sell some of the Facebook here. Okay, so right there, that's about 30%. And I'll let the other one kind of go. So if we can get above the weekly edge here, as you can see right there, then I'll let the rest of Facebook go here. Also have Lulu calls from yesterday. So just doing okay, you know, it's up 75 cents. No big deal there. RH up $2, right? Anybody keep RH from yesterday? Looking for the monthly test here at 129.02 and then 132. See if Netflix is going to bounce right here. Move this out of the way here. Nice. All right, looking for Netflix here. May enter a trade about right now. I'm looking at the 330, 295 by 310. Okay, let's go over here. Let's see, these things are not making me happy this morning. Okay, so we're at T1 at 2751. Watching closely here for ES to hold above. It could shape up to be a pretty bullish day here. Okay, value above my DTL. I'll probably take a scalp here on Amazon to the upside if it can get back up there. But for now, I'm just going to let it kind of mess around here. Same thing with the ES is doing its thing, hanging out around the upper edge. We'll see if it can actually hold value there. Yeah, Porton, I want to see it stay above this area in here. Nice. I think on the second attempt, if we can get above this pivot here, I think we could see 354 on Tesla. But again, Tesla's right here at the upper edge as well for the week. Nice stock. Come on, ES. Nice move in Square today. So they had an upgrade. They're at their upper edge as well. Let's see if we could take over some value here and get into 82. Look at that, right off the mid edge yesterday. Remember, this move from Apple is basically sparked from our mid-afternoon box. You can see there, nice move. And this is from yesterday. Right there, be your target. So Netflix created some supply up here. We don't take out the pivot low here. I'll look for a retest of this box. Facebook's still profitable. See if it can hold here. What were you using, the 2766 maybe as a pivot high? Yeah, I see it. That's why if you notice my T1 is at 2751. I really like that. If it can hold there, then I really like what it could do. Let's go over here to the daily on Amazon. What's the premiums look like on SPX? Pretty high. But they're higher on the put side.